Hanif Razak, I think is how you say your name. Sorry if I butchered that. It happens. What is the chance that Richard Sherman switches to safety if we get a new cornerback? I guess this is looking forward into the 2021 season. I'd say very unlikely. Listen, Richard Sherman is a cornerback through and through. What's Richard Sherman's greatest weakness right now? Think about this. What's his greatest weakness? It's tackling. Sherman's never been a great tackler. Now, you might say, oh, he's a good tackler. No, he's really not. Compared to a lot of cornerbacks in the National Football League, Sherman is not a good tackler. He's a great cover corner, not a good tackler. You've got to be able to tackle at the safety spot, even if it is the free safety spot. I don't see him moving. I think Sherman will finish his career at cornerback. The Niners will then usher in the next age of cornerbacks, and he will retire as most likely a future NFL Hall of Famer. So no, I think very small chance that he actually goes ahead and switches to safety. Next question here, coming up. Robert Garcia asked, I think the 49ers are going to make the playoffs in 2020. Yes, 100%. I really do. Now, as I've said before, let's give credit where credit is due. This is the best division in the National Football League, at least the best division in the NFC. You obviously have the 49ers. You have Seattle, who was 1 inch away from winning the division last year. You have the Rams, who have a great offensive-minded head coach in Sean McVay and a ton of talent on defense with Ramsey and Aaron Donald. And you have the Cardinals, who I am very high on this year because of their offseason moves. You ship away David Johnson, who's old and stunk, and you obviously bring in, for basically nothing, DeAndre Hopkins, arguably the best wide receiver in the National Football League. All four of those teams, legitimately, no joke, can win the division. Now, I think the 49ers will win the division, but even if the worst happens and they don't win the division, they will still be a wild card team. I think 100% they will be a playoff team, barring major injuries. And I mean major. I think, honestly, this is a hot take. I think they could lose Jimmy Garoppolo to an injury, and knock on wood, right? I don't want that to happen. But you could bring in Nick Mullins with this defense, with this running game, and with these wide receivers. I think they could still make the postseason without Jimmy Garoppolo. It's a hot take for me. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. We'll go ahead and move on to this one. Kyle Roth asks, will the 49ers throw more this year? Yeah, I think that they will. I think that they have the tools to go ahead and do that. Think back to last year, pre-Emmanuel Sanders trade deadline move. It was Kittle. It was a little bit of Samuel early on, and that was it because Marquise Goodwin did nothing. Trent Taylor was injured. Dante Pettis is MIA, missing in action. And you really were stuck with a tight end who is great, and we understand how great George Kittle is, especially in the passing game, and a rookie wide receiver. So now that they have even more weapons, Jalen Hurd comes back, Trent Taylor comes back, Kendrick Bourne, I think, is going to have another big year. You obviously have the rookie addition of Brandon Aiyuk. I think that they're going to have to because they have too much talent on the outside now. What was once a very difficult situation in terms of the wide receiver core is very, very good, very, very young, and I think they're going to throw a lot more this year, which, of course, you saw in games like the big win in overtime against the New Orleans Saints. Okay, Zay49 asks, 49ers sign Logan Ryan. I don't think they need to. I really don't. Listen, Manuel Mosley is going to be just fine, and that's someone that Jimmy Ward talked about previously in terms of having a big year in 2020. And so I don't think they need him. Plus, he's going to cost too much. You're going to pay him about $10 million per year. And right now, the 49ers aren't exactly swimming in cap space. So, no, I don't think that they need to. I think that they're totally fine. Let's see. The next one here is Darian Ruiz asked, will Javon Kinlaw be as good as Nick Bosa was his rookie year? Okay, it's a little different in terms of comparing the two because one's a defensive end and one's a defensive tackle. Yes, he's going to be as good. He is as dominant an interior defensive lineman as they come in this year's NFL draft. But Bosa, of course, was more flashy because he was a pass rusher. Kinlaw's got to plug the middle, right? Now, will he be able to ball out because of the defensive line he's playing with? Yes, 100%. I expect him to have more inflated defensive tackle rookie numbers than the majority of defensive tackles that come in the National Football League. But don't expect the Nick Bosa double-digit sacks defensive rookie of the year. Expect a great, great year, and he's only going to build upon, but don't expect him to have, 10 sacks, 11 sacks, 12 sacks, 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 40 tackles. That'll probably be his overall stat line going forward. Now, speaking of Javon Kinloch, listen, he officially announced his jersey number, which to me is perfect. 99 looks really good on a D tackle. If you want to pick up Javon Kinloch's jersey, we got hooked up for you. All authentic Nike stuff, too. This isn't that cheap, off-color, off-brand China stuff. This is the real deal. Chatsports.com/49ers1, the place to get it. Brandon Aiyuk, he picked his number 11. I love it. Again, chatsports.com/49ers1. Now, listen, you don't want a rookie jersey. You want the best of the best. How about George Kittle? This black one is sweet. We got the Kittle ones. We got the Garoppolo ones. We got them all at chatsports.com/49ers1. I actually got my mother an NFL jersey for Christmas from the same place. It's fantastic. She loves it. If she loves it, then you guys will love it as well. So go ahead and pick those up right now. Okay, more questions here. What do we got? A super chat from John Zach. I appreciate it. Which undrafted free agent can you see making the squad? Oh, man. I have a favorite undrafted free agent. It's Jermichael Hasty out of Baylor because I got to see him many times up close in person. He, to me, is at least a practice squad level guy, if not an actual not starter, but an actual rotation running back in the National Football League. The problem is that the 49ers have too many running backs. I mean, McKinnon is there, and obviously you have Wilson Jr., and then, of course, you have Raheem Mostert. You have too many running backs overall. You did trade Matt Breida, but if I had to pick one, I would put it Jermichael Hasty on the practice squad. And then if worse comes to worse and more injuries happen at running back, Tevin Coleman goes down, or you obviously have McKinnon's knee has always been kind of an issue. I think he could be an option there. There are a lot of undrafted free agents. I'll be honest, I don't remember every single one of them, but the one that popped into my mind, the one that I thought about a lot, is Jermichael Hasty. Okay, let's see. Triple D TX asked, will Mostert be a 1,000-yard rusher this year? I think he will be, okay? I think he will be. I know that's a crowded running back room right there. He's going to be sharing carries and sharing touches with Coleman, but he became the feature back and was the feature back not only later on in the year, but deep into the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. I would expect him to, and with that being said, a little fantasy advice, I would take him in your fantasy leagues. Don't put him at running back 1, but as a flex running back or running back 2, I think Mostert's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher for sure, barring Coleman balls out, or maybe Jerick McKinnon becomes the star running back that they thought he would be whenever they signed him. But I think overall, yeah, I'd say he'll be a 1,000-yard rusher. Okay, great question here. Your favorite 49ers player, current 49ers player. I don't give me Steve Young, Joe Montana. It's too easy. Jerry Rice as well. Too easy. Favorite 49ers player right now. Who is it? Tell me in the comment section right now. I want to know who it is. I'm trying to think of mine. Honestly, I love Deebo Samuel. I love everything Deebo Samuel stands for. I love everything Deebo Samuel does. Kyle Juszczyk is an easy one there as well. There are too many 49er players that we have to just pick one, but you got to pick one right now. Let me know who it is down below. Speaking of letting me know, if you ever want to DM me on Twitter and ask 49er questions, a lot of you guys are like regular Twitter DMers in my DMs, and we kind of talk back and forth about the 49ers. You can't do that unless you follow me on Twitter, @RealThomasMott. I am the real Thomas Mott. There are plenty of fake ones out there. Maybe not, but there will be eventually. So go ahead and follow the real one. Follow me, @RealThomasMott right now. If you got 49er questions that don't get answered on this show, DM me on Twitter. And as long as it's a good question, because every now and then I get really dumb questions, and it's like, man, I don't know if I want to answer that. But a lot of them are good. Give me a good one. I'll answer it. My phone's sitting right over here, so I'm kind of looking to see if anyone's going to follow me right now. But follow me on Twitter, @RealThomasMott. We can talk and we can hang out. Okay, back to the questions using the hashtag 49ers. Carson asks, next year, Richard Sherman, E-Man, Witherspoon, Williams, Tart are all free agents. What do you think about getting Jamal Adams? Boy, Jamal Adams, ever since that Jet rumor came out that they were shopping Jamal Adams, every single team at one point has had the little rumor blog about, ooh, what if we sign Jamal Adams? Listen, I love Jamal Adams, but if he couldn't get traded to the Dallas Cowboys, who apparently were all in on Jamal Adams, what makes us think that the 49ers are going to get him? It's a far-fetched fantasy. It's like, I'll give you another example. I get so many DMs asking about Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa's brother, who's going to be a Charger free agent in 2020. Are we going to get Joey Bosa? I have no idea. Would I like Joey Bosa? Would I like Jamal Adams? Sure, 100%. But the odds of that actually happening are very, very low, and so I would not get your hopes up in terms of that actually happening overall. Okay, see, this is a good one. 49ers, over under 45 sacks as a team for for the season. How many sacks did they have last year? They had 48 last year is what they had. So they were number 5 in sacks there. Perfect graphic right now by Harrison. 48 sacks last year, 27 takeaways. Over under 45. I think you're over, but man, it could be like 44. It could be 43. And even if it's anything above 40, it's going to be a good year overall. The question's going to be, how effective is Kinlaw at filling in for DeForest Buckner? DeForest Buckner was fantastic last year and was a big reason why Ford and Bosa had a lot of one-on-one sack opportunities. If Kinlaw fills that hole and is as good, if not better, then it'll be over. If he's a little bit worse, then maybe just a little bit under, but I would put my money on over because it's the best defensive front in the National Football League. Literally not even, I mean, they are dominant on the defensive front. I'd say at least 45. I'm going to go over on the 45 right there. Again, be sure to subscribe. And the big one here, click the notification bell. We get told, because YouTube tells us these things, like 20% of you guys, and this is like, do the math here, 20% of 21,000 people don't have the notification bell clicked. Now you're saying, Thomas, what does the notification bell do? All it does is tell you when we drop a new video, which if you're subscribed, then wouldn't you want to know? I had them turned on my phone. So when we came on the live show, it just says, hey, 49ers Report is live. Do you want to watch it? You can swipe away if you don't want to watch it, which is dumb, because you should. Or you just click in. Click the notification bell. Trust me, you will not regret it. It is the best way to be notified whenever we drop brand new stuff. All right, back to questions. More questions here on our 49ers Live Q&A. YPK asks, who will have a better season, Kendrick Bourne or Brandon Aiyuk? I really want Kendrick Bourne to have a big year. I really think that Kendrick Bourne could be the breakout player of the 2020 season. We talked about Trent Taylor earlier on. I would love for Bourne to be that. But at the same time, you spend a first-round draft pick on Brandon Aiyuk, he better be good, right? Like, he better turn out to be a very good wide receiver. I'm going to go with Aiyuk. I expect him to. If I had to, bet my money on it, I bet my money on Aiyuk. But I'm hoping it's Kendrick Bourne because he's a little bit older, and, Aiyuk can have a year or two to kind of figure things out. Who will be better, Jalen Hurd or Trent Taylor? I think, oh man. So I just did a whole thing about how the coaches think it'll be Trent Taylor. I think it's going to be Jalen Hurd because he's a little bigger. I think a little bit better across the middle in terms of the modern day slot receiver. I know we think Trent Taylor and Wes Welker. Listen, we said earlier, the coaches think Trent Taylor is going to ball out this year. They thought he'd be a Pro Bowler before he broke his foot last season. I think Jalen Hurd, though, would be my pick overall, although many of you guys know I went to Baylor. My producer, Harrison, went to TCU, so we're rivals there. But I went to Baylor, so I'm a little biased towards those Baylor players, especially Jalen Hurd.